Did you know a human can survive without food for weeks? But just 3 days without eating can feel like the longest fight of your life? I never imagined how intense this would be until I actually tried it. I thought I knew my limits, but wow, I had no idea what I was in for. So I decided to go on a water-only diet for 3 days. No snacks, no meals, just water. Honestly, it wasn't because I wanted a quick fix or a dramatic weight loss. I wanted to see what my body and mind were truly capable of. Could I really survive 3 days without food? And if I could, what would I learn about myself? I know it sounds crazy, and trust me, I had my doubts. But sometimes the best way to understand yourself is to push your body and mind just a little beyond what feels comfortable. Before I started, I was terrified. I kept imagining all the things that could go wrong. My stomach growling nonstop, my head pounding with hunger, feeling weak, dizzy, unable to focus on anything. I even imagined myself collapsing halfway through and regretting it immediately. I tried to prepare mentally. I read stories online about people surviving on just water. Some survived days, even weeks. But those were survival stories. They weren't about the emotional struggle, the constant conversation your mind has with itself when you're hungry and bored. I knew the challenge wasn't just physical. It was deeply mental. Even my friends thought I was insane. "Why would you do that to yourself?" they asked. And honestly, part of me agreed. But I also knew that this experiment would teach me something important about patience, endurance, and self-control. The first day started surprisingly okay. I woke up, had a glass of water, and felt ready. I told myself, "Okay, this is nothing. You can do this." By late morning, my stomach started grumbling. Not violently, but enough to remind me it was empty. At first it was annoying, but then I realized it was kind of fascinating. I was paying attention to my body in a way I normally don't. Every growl, every twinge felt like a conversation. I also noticed that my mood started shifting. I was more irritable than usual. Tiny inconveniences felt bigger. A slow computer, a noisy neighbor, even minor decisions felt exhausting. It was like my brain was working overtime without fuel. But here's something interesting. I also started noticing small joys. The warmth of the sun on my skin felt more comforting. The taste of water, the simple pure cold water, felt amazing. Every sip felt refreshing in a way I've never appreciated before. By the evening, I felt tired, sure, but also proud that I had made it through the first day. The second day was a different story. I woke up feeling sluggish. My body was heavier than usual. Every movement required effort. Even making a cup of water felt like lifting a weight. And then the hunger really started talking. It was persistent, almost mocking me. My stomach growled constantly, and I caught myself daydreaming about every food I've ever loved: rice, bread, jollof, ice cream, everything. Mentally, I felt restless. My brain kept trying to trick me. "Just one small bite," it whispered. "It won't hurt." But I kept saying no. I sipped more water, distracted myself with small tasks, even went for short walks to take my mind off food. Physically, there were moments when dizziness hit me. My hands trembled slightly. My head felt light. But I realized something. I was still standing. I was still moving. My body was adapting slowly, and my mind, well, it was learning patience in a very uncomfortable way. By evening, I felt a strange clarity. My senses seemed sharper. Colors were more vivid. Sounds were clearer. It was like my body was compensating for the lack of food, heightening awareness in small ways. That was unexpected, and I started feeling a little more connected to myself than usual. The third day was challenging, emotional, and oddly enlightening all at once. I woke up hungry, really hungry. My stomach wasn't just growling. It felt empty in a way that made me hyper-aware of every step I took. Even thinking about walking to the kitchen was painful because I knew there was nothing to eat there. Mentally, I felt tested. Every temptation seemed louder than usual. I imagined biting into all my favorite foods, and for a second, I almost gave in. But then I paused. I reminded myself why I was doing this. This wasn't punishment. It was discovery. As the day progressed, I noticed my body starting to feel lighter, almost like shedding excess baggage. My mind felt both exhausted and alert at the same time. I started reflecting deeply on habits, cravings, and how often I eat without really noticing why. There was one key moment in the afternoon when I nearly gave up. I sat down, feeling weak, and whispered to myself, maybe I can't do this. But then I remembered the first 2 days, the little victories, the patience, the mental strength I didn't know I had. I took a deep breath, drank some water, and just kept moving. That was the moment I realized this challenge wasn't just about hunger. It was about endurance, willpower, and self-respect. By evening, I felt exhausted, but strangely empowered. My body was fatigued, sure, but my mind felt victorious. I had faced discomfort head-on and survived. I had listened to my body, felt every sensation, and pushed through mental barriers I didn't even know existed. I realized something powerful. Hunger is temporary, but the strength you discover in yourself during those moments lasts far longer. It's not about punishing yourself, it's about learning limits, finding discipline, and reconnecting with your body in a way most of us rarely do. After 3 days, I finally ate again. Every bite felt surreal, almost magical. I learned that my body is resilient, adaptable, and capable of more than I often give it credit for. I also learned that my mind can be my harshest critic or my strongest ally, depending on how I listen. This experience taught me patience, self-control, and a deeper appreciation for the simple things we often take for granted, like a meal, a snack, or even just the feeling of fullness. Have you ever tried a challenge like this? Or maybe something else that pushed your limits? I want to hear your stories. Drop them in the comments. Don't be shy. And if you want to see what I ate after this 3-day water challenge, check out my next video. Trust me, the first bite was unforgettable.